Today on Investigate TV Plus, his father dead, and at 11 years old, he was the accused killer. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. A 30-year-old case with a shocking twist.
Just the fact that I had to hear it from someone else. But I felt relieved.
Plus,
I was angry. I was mad.
Credit card information being swiped from Apple Pay. We give you the steps to take to protect your money.
And making sense of man's best friend.
What a dog needs in order to be happy is different from what you might think they need to be happy.
Insight into the activity your dog finds fulfilling.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
It's a frightening but real fact. In America, every year, thousands of homicide cases go unsolved.
According to data from the Murder Accountability Project, in 2021, just 54% of cases were cleared.
And while there's no uniform definition to determine when a case goes cold, a 2012 Department of Justice report concluded cold cases are among the most difficult investigators confront. In one case, the truth came 3 decades later. Today, we take you back to August of 1989 in Elmer, Louisiana, where a mother accused her 11-year-old son of shooting his father.
Brooke Buford takes us on a journey to clearing this man's name.
He was so ashamed of everybody thinking he killed his daddy.
33 years after 11-year-old Cody Van Asselberg was accused of shooting and killing his father, a new start thanks to an official public clearing by the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office.
This is one of those situations where, without a doubt, we can say he had nothing to do with it.
He had nothing to do with it.
That revelation on the heels of a dark family secret. It's hard for Cody to go back to the early morning of August 2nd, 1989, the day his father, August Gus Van Asselberg, was shot and killed.
It was just horrible.
According to the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office, who investigated the case, the call came in around 7 a.m. about the family's patriarch dead in his bed in the family's trailer on Van Asselberg Road. The weapon was a .38 pistol that belonged to Cody's mother, Valerie. According to reports, as Valerie told deputies, Cody had fallen asleep in the living room that night. Sometime around 2 a.m., she placed him in the couple's bed, and she fell asleep in the living room.
The gun was still in the bed with the father. She cuts the light off, and then the next morning about 6 o'clock, she turns the light on with a cup of coffee, drops it, screams, said, "Oh my God, you've killed your daddy."
Valerie told detectives in those early reports that before she made the gruesome discovery, she asked Cody to put the gun back in the drawer.
I just remember waking up to my mom screaming why I did it, why did you do it, why did you do it? I just remember bawling, saying I don't know what you're talking about.
Cody ended up in the Renaissance Home for Youth for nearly a year, but he said he never knew the exact reason why. Since it was a juvenile case, it wrapped up quickly and quietly, and the records from that time don't really exist anymore. As the sheriff's office told us, there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute. As Cody got older, he and his sister, who was also in the trailer that night, often questioned their mother about what exactly happened to their father.
She always shut down. We couldn't get anything out of her.
Last year, now married and living out of state, Cody and his wife made a call to the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office to get those answers.
He has always wanted to know. We had a support network in place for him, so when we did find out, there was enough people to help him through it.
Yeah, exactly.
That call led them to Major Mark Baden, a cold case detective for the parish. And what Baden read in the old reports bothered him, and he wanted to take a new look at the case. So he did some new interviews with people who knew the family, and then he and another detective went to pay a visit to Cody's mom.
I don't want to sound stupid or goofy, but it's like a big blur, and that's 30-something years ago. I don't remember much that took place that day, or my mind won't go there.
There were some tough questions in the nearly 2-hour-long initial interview.
Did you shoot Mr. August?
No, sir. Why would I do that?
Well, that's a question we have to ask.
Baden also brought up some new information, $20,000 that had gone missing from Gus Van Asselberg's business account around the time he was shot.
Do you remember anything about $20,000 missing?
No, sir. No, sir.
Baden wasn't buying it.
I let her know that, she was lying to me, that I would be back and she needed to seek the truth.
But before Baden even made it back to the office, one of Valerie's daughters, who was present for that interview, called him.
She was very upset, said her mom confessed.
Baden returned the next day and got this written confession and one on tape. Valerie told him that she was an abused wife looking for a way out, and that involved taking $20,000 and a plan to leave.
I laid there, got scared to sleep. Half the time I didn't. And when I got up, it's like I was in automatic mode. I got up, walked to my desk, took out my gun, went back to bed, and I don't know if I was gonna do it to myself or to him at that point.
And what happened next?
I shot him.
I can't understand you, ma'am.
I shot him.
Valerie said she didn't remember telling Cody to put the gun in the drawer and claimed she didn't realize she pointed detectives at the time toward her son.
What?
Yes, ma'am. And all the statements, everything we have, you kind of pushed them towards Cody. And we need to get that right so we can give him some closure.
The revelation rocked Cody to the core. He told us he was just as shocked about the claims of abuse that she made about his father and said he never witnessed it.
Just the fact that I had to hear it from someone else. But I felt relieved. Finally, someone's knowing the truth.
Baden wrapped up the case that summer and sent it to the district attorney's office with the intent to seek a second-degree murder indictment from a grand jury. But before it could get to that point, Valerie died in October from health complications. Cody said he never got an apology from his mother, and he's come to terms with that. But now, with a public clearing of his name, he can finally move on.
You could at least breathe and not have that cloud hanging over you.
That frustration and pain is shared by families of homicide victims across the country whose cases remain unsolved.
According to analysis of FBI data by a nonprofit focused on criminal justice, police in the U.S. solved 1,200 more murders in 2020 than 2019, but murders rose twice as quickly.
As a result, the percentage of homicides cleared dropped to its lowest rate since the 1980s.
Still ahead, an explosion of virtual dining is fueling customer confusion. We have your guide to ghost kitchens.
But first, a practice involving Apple Pay that could expose you to fraud.
Hackers and scammers, they know which banks don't offer the best protection.
Up next, the call you need to make to stop con artists from potentially getting your credit card information.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes. Identity theft continues to trouble Americans.
In 2022, victims filed more reports to the Federal Trade Commission about identity theft than any other type of complaint.
Reports of credit card fraud topped that category. Nearly 442,000 people in the U.S. reported their information was misused with an existing credit card or when applying for a new card.
And it's not just older Americans at risk. The FTC found people between 20 and 30 reported losing money to fraud more often than people between 70 and 80. To help prevent you from becoming a victim, we have an in-depth look at a scam taking place on Apple Pay.
And one expert says once they have your information, it is hard to stop. Stacey Cameron shows us it happened to a Middle Tennessee man.
This is the first bill that I got and noticed the fraudulent charges.
When it comes to his Truist Bank credit card, Joe Hewitt is careful.
Do you make any purchases online?
No, I do not.
That's why this spring he was shocked to learn someone stole his card information and started using it out of state.
The bank guy told me Apple Pay.
To charge hundreds of dollars to his account. But shock turned to frustration.
I was angry. I was mad.
When Hewitt says the fraud didn't stop even after getting 4 new cards.
Somebody had my account on Apple Pay and was getting my card numbers before I received them in the mail.
Hackers and scammers, they know which banks don't offer the best protections.
Alex Nettie is a cybersecurity expert. He blames the fraud in Hewitt's case on auto updating, a feature some banks use to automatically update credit card information on Apple Pay.
As a consumer, that sounds useful.
The downside? Nettie says if a stolen credit card is used to set up Apple Pay, thieves get the new number, expiration date, and security code every time the bank issues a new card.
They need to have a different kind of option for when that card is stolen, to be able to flag it and say, hey, we need to revoke this authorization to Apple Pay.
Citing privacy, Truist didn't answer our questions, only saying that the bank takes potential fraud concerns seriously. Fed up with the bank, Hewitt closed his account, saying he no longer trusts Truist with his information.
They don't care, it's not their money.
Most banks only auto-update the credit card number and expiration date in Apple Pay. If the billing address is different, you'll have to update that in the phone settings. To protect yourself from this type of fraud, Nettie suggests calling your bank to ask if they auto-update information on Apple Pay. If the answer is yes, he advises finding a new place to bank.
Still to come, the steps you can take to make a positive change in your dog's life.
Plus, it's a restaurant you'll never see on a street sign. You'll only find it online.
That's what it's called, a ghost. We're kind of a ghost to the customer.
But we'll help you uncover where your delivery order is being made.
Two business models in the restaurant industry are growing in popularity, and it has families facing a new delivery dilemma.
They say that they have all this really good-looking food.
While many drop-offs go without issue, not every meal arrives as ordered, if at all.
It did not arrive.
In this case, the customer ordered from a virtual dining concept that did not exist, despite the kitchen owner's efforts to get the word out.
Every time I hear about one, I try to contact them, I spend hours on it, and then the next day we'll get another order for it.
The National Restaurant Association finds more than half of adults in the U.S. consider takeout and delivery essential, and that demand has ghost kitchens and virtual restaurants dishing out to-go options without a storefront.
Reporter Heather Graff uncovers the difference between the virtual dining concepts and shows you how to investigate where your delivery order is being prepared.
That is a cheeseburger being prepared at a tea shop for delivery. And chances are the customer has no clue.
It's a brand within a restaurant that's already existing.
Alex Marqueta is describing a growing trend known as a virtual restaurant. He runs one out of his brick-and-mortar cafe in Anchorage, Alaska. When you order food from a virtual restaurant, kitchens like Marqueta's prepare it for third-party companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats to deliver.
Basically, we use the same ingredients that we use for our normal restaurant.
And while virtual restaurants operate out of an existing storefront, ghost kitchens have no brick-and-mortar counterpart. Instead, they are run out of spaces without dine-in equipment, and oftentimes under the same roof as several other delivery-only brands.
That's what it's called, a ghost. We're kind of a ghost to the customer.
The National Restaurant Association's 2023 State of Industry report finds 2/3 of adults are more likely to order takeout than they were in 2019. That's potentially 172 million hungry customers.
People have already become addicted to ordering online. So that is not going away.
The delivery-only concept has been stirring in the food service industry for about a decade.
During the pandemic and as we continue, you've seen rapid use of innovation.
But Patrick Tam with the Indiana Restaurant Lodging Association suggests the COVID-19 pandemic is one factor contributing to the growth of virtual dining.
Really, it's a reflection of the economy. So, you have consumers that are continue to look for carry-out delivery of meals, but then also restaurants are trying to maximize their restaurant space.
Opening and maintaining a storefront is a massive investment, plus staffing shortages still plague the industry. In March of 2023, the National Restaurant Association alerted Congress that 60% of restaurant operators say they cannot support customer demand with the staff they currently have, and nearly 80% have jobs they cannot fill. Wow Bao started as a brick and mortar, but opened its first online-only location in January 2020.
Our goal was to help restaurants grow revenue and grow profit for those that were just sort of breaking even, like the mom and pop coffee shop.
The CEO says the company is now steaming pot stickers and dumplings in 600 kitchens across the country, making your delivery order from inside some big chains, such as Ruby Tuesday and TGI Fridays.
But it wasn't ever made about how fast and how big can we grow Wow Bao. It was simply about how can we help the industry.
Wow Bao requires its partners to have an active commercial or restaurant kitchen license, as well as an owner or director with at least 2 years experience. But how can you uncover if the ghost kitchen you're ordering from is up to code? Be your own investigator. You can look up recent inspections and the restaurant's food grade through the health department. But it can be tricky, as the name of the virtual brand might not be registered in city records.
Do a little bit more research for yourself.
The president of the Better Business Bureau of upstate South Carolina suggests you find the name of the brick and mortar restaurant.
Definitely the first thing I do is pick up the phone and ask. I would ask, where are you guys located?
You can also cross-reference the address listed on the delivery app in Maps to see which dine-in restaurant is located there. And while transparency is a key ingredient, Marketa believes ghost kitchens are not disappearing.
The only thing we can do as a restaurateurs is either adapt to the new waves or just be left behind.
So far, DoorDash identifies virtual dining concepts. Uber Eats and Grubhub do not. If your delivery doesn't arrive as ordered, the Better Business Bureau suggests contacting customer service through the delivery app.
Next on Investigate TV Plus, find out what brings your dog the most joy and why it might add more time to your next walk.
I'm Viv Williams with a medical mythbuster moment. Myth: the flu shot can give you the flu. No, the flu vaccine cannot give you the flu, and here's why. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website explains that flu vaccines given with needles only use virus that's dead, so the flu can't live inside you, but it can prompt an immune response that trains your body to fight the flu. That's why you might get symptoms: low-grade fever, achy muscles, and a headache for a couple of days afterwards. Every year, the CDC estimates that between 12 and 54,000 people worldwide die of the flu or influenza virus. With this medical mythbuster, I'm Viv Williams.
A canine cognition lab is under construction at Transylvania University in Kentucky. Once complete, it will be one of less than 20 in the world.
The vision is led by a professor who studies the psychology of the domestic dog. Her research and classes look to improve the lives of pets by teaching their owners what makes them happy.
Reporter Garrett Weimer explains how there is more to a walk than just physical exercise.
In a lot of ways, dogs make our lives a little less rough.
Good boy, Hal. He's not sure about it.
Here at Yappy Place in Chevy Chase, it's easy to see when dogs are having a ball. But in their everyday lives, are they happy?
You could, if you wanted to, put it in, make a little pamphlet.
That's what's hounding Ellen Furlong, a psychology professor at Transy.
This is just time for you to work on anything last minute you need to do for your project tomorrow.
In the May term, Furlong taught a class called What Does Fido Know?, exploring how dogs think and make decisions.
The world of the dog is different than the world of the human, and what a dog needs in order to be happy is different from what you might think they need to be happy.
An important member of the class?
Hi.
Furlong's dog, Olive.
She is a big personality.
A 2-year-old Blue Heeler Beagle mix.
Are you so excited? During statistics, she would be a problem. But during a dog cognition class, we can talk about why she's doing the things that she's doing and the antics that she's pulling.
Furlong says because we humans decide so much for our dogs, what they eat, when they walk, it's also up to us to make sure they're happy.
What dogs really need to be happy is to spend a lot of time getting information through their noses. So they need a lot of time to sniff. So it can be really frustrating for owners to take their dogs on the kind of walk that a dog finds fulfilling.
We just wanted to talk about like the different body language.
There's a lot to learn about canine cognition.
Like low and slow tail wags, wide wags, and then stressed out things that dogs do.
And they're making sure these lessons don't stop at the classroom door. Trying to unleash that knowledge here at Yappy Place.
That's a good walk, Hal. Good walk.
The goal for dog owners to make a positive change, to better bond with their pets, and truly become dog's best friend in the process.
Okay, that story helped me. I took Maple Zurich on a walk this morning. I was so frustrated because she just wanted to smell everything. And I was like trying to yank her along, and I probably should have just let her sniff, right?
Now you know it's important. She's having fun.
All right, Maple, have a good walk tomorrow,
Explore.
I promise.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
Next time on Investigate TV Plus, we travel to an isolated island in Louisiana where the Gulf of Mexico is gobbling up their land.
I've gone as much as 13 days without mail.
How an unprecedented relocation effort hopes to save a community.